Hello, everyone. I'm Darryl Seland, editorial director of quality, and I'm with our managing editor, Michelle Bangert.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast.
We recently completed our State of the Profession survey, and along with Michelle's article for our July issue, we are here to talk a little more about the results, the good as well as the concerns that were expressed about the current state of quality and moving forward. While a great majority of respondents are satisfied with their job and their salary, with another great majority having received a pay raise since last year and expecting the same after their next performance review as well. There are still some concerns, including the skilled labor gap, supply chain disruptions, management support, and inflation's effect on budgets and innovation. So, Michelle, let's start with skilled labor.
Sure. So every year, this is a concern. So it's kind of continues, and year after year, audiences mentioned the skilled labor shortages. And even though it's been a concern for a long time, it's not really getting better. One person from the survey wrote that it's not getting better, but instead it's growing. And in many cases, they said it also can hold a business back. That labor issues, another person said, we're growing steadily and we have to grow our workforce, but it's hard to find workers who want to work in this type of job. So they're really struggling. And even though the business is doing well, they have trouble with the labor issues. And so even though there are so many things going on with, education and other initiatives, various associations are working on getting new populations involved and other things. So but it does take a while. One person said that, replacing older and experienced workers with new workers is not an overnight process. So we'll see how long it takes for some of these things to actually help the industry.
And as you alluded to, we have covered this issue for quite some time, a lot recently. So I would encourage people to check out that coverage of the skilled labor market or the next generation workforce. A lot of great content on the Quality site and from us here at Quality. And although COVID is less of a concern, as you kind of mentioned in the top of your article. One of the remaining impacts from the pandemic is supply chain concerns.
Yes, definitely. So we've been hearing about supply chain issues for a long time. I still remember a company a few years ago telling me for an article they were getting quoted lead times of 52 weeks. So that's a year. So obviously that makes it challenging to do work and use the same suppliers and kind of source things differently. So they were able to pivot and adjust, but it still sounded very challenging. And in our survey, another person said that the raw materials used in our manufacturing can be difficult to procure at times. So depending on the industry, there's a lot of other kind of challenges going on. So fingers crossed, things turn a corner, but right now it's still a concern for our audience.
hmm And I think it's safe to say that along with the supply chain, our current struggles with inflation can kind of be traced back to COVID, and obviously have persisted since. It is not only current inflation, but obviously the uncertainty about when it will level off naturally. One respondent summed it up rather concisely, saying that budgets are tight and costs are increasing. Another said this affects both demand for the product and the costs required to produce it. So this all impacts customer decisions as well. One respondent said worldwide sourcing of raw materials is a concern, and those costs are being passed on to us or to the manufacturers. So naturally, the question was, do we eat these costs or do we pass them on to our customers? All during a time when many respondents had described customers whom were already reducing orders or pushing orders or flat out canceling orders, particularly in capital investment. As one respondent put it, they focus on capital equipment, and the economy dictates its customers' budgets, its new project initiatives, and its service business. And I think those sentiments lead into our next concern as well, and that is management support. I don't think it is a stretch to suggest that many people complain about their bosses. Seems like just a matter of course. But in this instance, what we just described with the tightening of budgets and kind of decisions to forego innovation or new initiatives, those two things are currently at odds with one another. Currently and in the near term, companies and managers are battling costs. It's leaving very little room for innovation in this atmosphere. As one respondent said, management is sometimes not willing to allocate funds for projects, even if they will result in significant cost reductions or quality improvements. Another described management as not having been supportive of innovation as of late. Um, However, sort of one innovation that has been getting a good deal of attention lately is artificial intelligence. I recently saw a blurb about an industry survey put out by ETQ that suggests that 47% of their respondents were planning on using AI in the next 2 years, and another 33% that said that they were already using it. That's a little bit different than the responses that we were seeing, right, Michelle?
Yeah, that's right. Our respondents definitely had a more of a wait and see mentality. So obviously embracing new technology is necessary and it's important to thrive, but sometimes companies just want to see how it goes for other companies first. So our research showed that 44% prefer to wait until others successfully use a new technology, and only 12% are willing to be on the leading edge. So we'll see how that changes in the coming years. In the article, I wrote that skilled labor is concerning, but artificial intelligence is not so much. Respondents have other things on their minds besides AI. So they're definitely interested in AI and using it, but they're not as concerned with it as, filling the open job they have since they can't complete their business. I did just talk to someone about fatigue testing, and even in that area where you maybe wouldn't immediately think of it, they had an AI application. So it is out there and people are using it, but they're still kind of waiting to see, where it goes and what their peers are doing. So, and,
It
trying to keep business moving with these other issues.
Absolutely. I was just going to say with these other issues that we already described and talked about, it's not surprising to see that a lot of people want to take pause and again kind of wait and see or see how others in the industry are using it and using it to their benefit. We have covered an awful lot about artificial intelligence here at Quality. And you can check that out for yourself, our coverage, and we will continue to cover the subject for you. So watch this space, if you will. And I would also encourage everyone to read Michelle's article on our State of the Profession survey, or you can purchase the full study at our bookstore on qualitymag.com.
So people are interested in finding the article. It's called Skills, Satisfaction, and Salary, our 2024 State of the Profession Survey.
And thank you all for watching. You can check us out and all our great content on qualitymag.com.